Everyone. I'm David Pearl. I am presently residing in Levittown, Pennsylvania, which is where I was actually born and raised. In less than a quarter mile each way is where I was born that way, and I was raised that way, and I came back home. Um, I am currently 55 and a half years old, which makes me eligible to retire, but we'll talk about that later. And I went into the service. I had to get my parents to sign me up at 17. I literally went on delayed enlistment in August and went into the United States Air Force. Well, there's a funny story there too, because I actually was going to Marine Corps, which you'll love. Um, I literally left my house going to the Marine Corps. And when I got to the MEP station in Philadelphia, at that point, I was already tired of being yelled at. And I said, maybe this ain't for me. Up in San Antonio, Texas. And I called San Antonio. I called my mom because when you get there, just like the Corps, you get that phone call. And my mom had to go collect call from San Antonio, Texas. And my mom says, "Did you get on the wrong plane?" And that's where I explained to my mother that I was going into the Air Force instead. So that is a true story too. But then, so my first 10 years in the military, in the Air Force, I was a air-to-air missile technician. I worked out what would be called the bomb dump in the Air Force, mostly AIM-9s, AIM-7s, AGM-65s, stuff that shoots down other aircraft. My first tour of duty was at Lakenheath, England, and I loved that tour. And then I followed through, and I did that for 10 years. And I was over in New Jersey, in the New Jersey Air National Guard as a full-time Air Guard technician. And we lost our F-4s and got KC-135s. Well, that's just a big floating gas tank, and you don't like to shoot missiles at it or get shot at if you're in it. So I became an aircraft mechanic. I did that for 11 years. So after 21 years, I got my 20-year letter that said, "Freedom," and I took it. Got a job in the Department of Defense, which is where I am now. I signed on to the Department of Defense in a part called DCMA, which is Defense Contract Management Agency. I was a quality assurance representative, and I have since moved up to now I am a quality assurance team leader. That means I really don't do anything. I tell other people what to do. Perfect job for an Air Force guy, right? 55 and a half, because I am now qualified after 38 years. I am qualified to retire with full benefits from that, and I joined this thing called the Veterans of Foreign Wars. I actually dabbled in another organization before this, which was called the Delaware Valley Vietnam Veterans. Great group of guys, but had a different mission than I did. I am a very firm believer that when I took that uniform off, my mission only changed slightly from defending the country and a lifestyle we live to defending veterans and doing for veterans. So I just put on a different uniform because, that's what we do. Sometime during that period of time, I stepped a little bit ahead of me, but probably 10 years before I retired out of the Air Force, I joined the fire department. I had 28 years in the fire department now. I achieved the rank of chief. I was chief of 2 different departments for a total of 10 years. I made my rank up to president of the Bucks County Fire Chiefs Association and firefighters, like 2,500 strong. So, and the highest award that I ever received in the fire department was the medal. I received the Medal of Valor for saving 6. I was directly responsible for saving 6 people. I don't know if you know about the Village Green Apartments in Montgomery County. They're right on the border of Montgomery County, County Line Road area. Anyway, the Village Green Apartments went underwater and the building decided to explode. And I was able to, on my little rubber boat that I was swimming next to because the people were inside it, I was able to save 6 people. So they gave me Medal of Valor. Woohoo, big deal. That was my fire department thing. So then I get into VFW, and I've pretty much been on a roll since then. So for the first probably 10 years in the VFW, I really didn't do anything. I mean, I went to the canteen, I went to the bar, but I really didn't do anything as far as the VFW. And then I said, you know, this isn't what I wanted to join for. So I got into being an officer. I started off as a trustee. I worked my way up to commander. I was commander of my post for 2 years. Quite recently, I just got elected, and I started last Friday as commander of the district, which is Bucks and Lehigh County. That is 17 posts are under my responsibility. Roughly 4,000 members are under my responsibility. But I got to tell you, the one job that I like the most is 2 years ago, I was appointed as the Pennsylvania representative of the VFW to the National Legislative Council. And what that is we go and we storm the Hill twice a year. And literally, it's kind of corny, but it is so cool for a little guy like me from Levittown. And I'm sitting in the Congress talking to my senators and looking at Congress. And I'm like, I'm making a difference. And we're doing this for veterans. So it's a really cool thing to have, to be involved with. So that's my where I have been so far.